been on these calls where I'm kind of the broker intermediary consultant between the practice and the RCM company, both of which I'm trying to make be successful. But they're doing exactly that. They're basically just downloading EHR reports. Now, a lot of RCM companies maintain a separate spreadsheet, because we all live in a land of spreadsheets, apparently, that tracks their workflow and sort of annotates accounts with some additional information. Often they have sort of their own classification, categorization of accounts and their status. And sometimes they merge those two things together, which can be helpful. So, sort of if you were to break out sort of levels of reporting, I would sort of think of it as a pyramid of the base is the same EHR reports that you can get out of your own system at any time. And if they're just giving you that and reading it back to you, we've got a problem. Something's going to change here. Level 2 is, okay, maybe they're downloading several reports and doing some joins and some pivot tables and some VLOOKUPs, and they're merging some data together that you might not have done without some Excel skills. That's sort of level 2. They are able to summarize things in a way that's more meaningful, and that does add value and sort of drives conversation. It basically subcategorizes things in a way that's more sophisticated. Now, the next level up on that pyramid, I would say, is where they're doing some additional analysis beyond that. So maybe I've merged several reports together and I've grouped them, and now I'm drilling into the things that are wrong, basically. Where are my denials? How many denials, of what flavor? Where did they come from? Those kinds of things. They're basically getting to, I'll call it surface level root cause analysis, which can further drive the conversation. Anybody can do this now. This is very simple. Even if you don't have the Excel skills, or your RCM vendor doesn't have the Excel skills, go to ChatGPT, go to Gemini. You can get an Excel formula that's pretty advanced in a matter of 60 seconds and add that to your spreadsheet. And you can get analysis you wouldn't have thought of before, at least for grouping things based on complex, if and logic, those kinds of things, which is super helpful. And then the final level, the pyramid, which is really, okay, now I've gotten down, I've grouped the things together, I've done some analysis. Now I'm going to go cluster accounts based on sort of proper root cause, which is technically beyond the scope of most folks. It does require some sort of data science clustering analysis to identify patterns and sub-patterns that are more actionable, which is probably out of scope for most RCM companies. That's the kind of thing we do here at Lockbox as part of our software system, but not generally what a normal RCM company could do on their own. So on that pyramid of basic, merge a couple things, do analysis, Francis, if you had to guess, what percentage of time do you think a client's getting which level of reporting from their RCM vendor?
Oh, I rarely see it. I don't typically see the drill down of, let's say, claims denied for timely filing. What's the drill down on that as far as by payer, by provider, to where you can actually get even more into, okay, when you get down to the very core of where these are coming from the most, it is from this location or this provider or with this payer. You won't see it to that degree. But I do want to back up a little bit to talk about the reports themselves before you can analyze what the root cause of things. I always want to tell people to be very careful about even the report generation. You got to understand what is being made up of in those numbers, those totals. So you have to pull back the curtain. I'm amazed by people, providers, board members, at CFOs that don't ask, where are these coming from? One thing for certain is if you were to hold accountable or test the reliability of your data, is to say, I'm going to rerun last December and compare it to if you ran it today. This is where you get into, are they closing the system each month, hard closing, to say that numbers will not be altered historically. That's one test. The other is, yes, again, pulling back the curtains. What parameters are they using? When you get a KPI report that says your collection rate from this RCM vendor is 97.8%, well, you can play with the statistics, right? Did they run that by what's included in that is that the contractual adjustments are being categorized correctly. The non-contractuals, you can set it by, is it by rendering, by billing? Is it by data service? Are you aging by data service? Are you aging by liability date? You've got to understand each month that it's consistent, and are they including inactive patients, active patients? There's just so many parameters. Understand that first and foremost. What is being run? If you run it yourself and your RCM company sends you their report of that same report, you get different numbers. It's either a parameter setting, chosen, or something else wonky going on. So you've got to do that first. And then, yes, you take that data and now that every month you both agree on what's being put into it. Then you get to the root cause, right? But no, I do not see that coming from RCM companies. They basically tell you, here are the stats. We're doing good. We've collected this much. This is how much you've charged. And, this is your peak season. So things look really great. Those kind of things.
Yeah, you touched on several areas, and you and I talk about this all the time. If you want to manipulate numbers, get in there and make some adjustments. If this is where the devil is in the details, and the smallest detail that people don't pay enough attention to are adjustment types and adjustment rationale,